Happiness Challenge, the 90-day happiness challenge. I am Matthew Embrey-McClain, the Shamanic Happiness Coach. Very happy to be going live for day 2 for a recap of day 1. I've already seen some awesome posts, some very expanding posts from people on their journey so far. And I just wanted to give an amazing shout out to this type of growth. I saw one person say that they are letting people govern their own paths. They're understanding where they may be extending their energy into zones that are just too draining for them, or it's not even their place to be. And that's amazing. So the self-reflection of how we can change, how we can show up differently was yesterday's. How can we go through 90 days and just be in the change of things? To expand on that a little bit more from day 1, in 90 days, you can be a completely different person. In 30 days, you can start changing your brain chemistry to act differently. In 90 days, you can be a completely different person. So within this space, look at places that you know you are meant to change. The places that are holding you back from being able to experience a life where you have no holds bar, where everywhere you go, you know that you're making a positive impact, you're bringing merit to any situation, and that's what I'm talking about. So as a small example, every time you go into a grocery store, are you able, no matter who the teller is or whoever you go up to get help from, no matter who it is, are you able to walk up to them with dignity, showing dignity, and then also end that little interaction with dignity as well? That's what I'm talking about. What is standing in your way from showing up full out in this world? So amazing, again, the post from day 1. I saw another person who just got really dedicated to their own transformation. They're like, I don't need to be my old me. I need to be the new me. In this space of, they respect themselves at this point so much now, and they've gone through so many transformations that going backwards and not being their authentic self, it does not serve them at all. And they know that. They can tell that when they fall into those patterns, they start to suffer. So that's the other part that we can look at is, hi Dundee, puppy dog's coming over here. The other part that we can identify is that when we suffer, we are not being our truest self. When we are thriving and expanding is when we are being our truest self. When we are lighting up a room when we walk into it. If we walk into a room and we notice that maybe we're the vibe that just isn't vibing in the room, let's change that. It's time to just bump up your level. Hey, what state am I in right now? And how can I change this around? I wanted to, there was one more. Okay, the last one was somebody just said, I'm going to be present. I'm going to be present for this change. And in that space, what's amazing is that every time you realize that you're not present, you're growing and you're wanting to change as well. You're like, well, there's a skill that I need to learn in this space. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So awesome for day 1. Day 2 now, that is today. After we have gone through this space of being able to look at ourselves and go, wow, I'm going to change. I'm going to show up differently in this world. I'm going to help to create merit in this world wherever I go, specifically for my greatest and highest good, which translates to the greatest and highest good for all of you guys. And in that space, the next phase is to accept that you will be different. And that sometimes that is scary itself. Okay, so what does it feel like when you know that you have to play bigger? And you get that little, like those butterflies in your stomach, and you're just like, oh, whoa, I am going to do that. I am going to step outside any tiny little ego thinking that might be there, and I'm going to do it. And in that space, we have to very lovingly make room for what we have to mourn. And so what I'm asking for everybody to do today is to, in celebration, let go of the things that are holding you back. Maybe you can make a small little altar in celebration, or you maybe want to make like a little nature design called like a mandala or a sand painting outside. And just to signify in ritual form in ceremony form, in celebration form, that you are changing. And that could look like maybe you have some metaphysical paraphernalia, crystals, candles, oils. Maybe you have musical instruments, those types of things. Maybe even you want to do a celebratory dance or something, or just to have fun and just sing to yourself in this space. I have my new drum, awesome, from Siberia. Yeah, it's got a dragon on it. And in this space, oops. No, it's right next to the mic. Sorry about that. In this space, maybe I'm going to go around today and just start trying to change up the energy in my house. I'm going to dance and move around, whatever it would be, to say that I am not willing to be, hi, Bobbers. Yeah, I know that was weird. I am not willing to be my old self anymore. And so I'm going to go ahead and mourn and hold space for that emotional transition to be different. A lot of times we just don't do that in our society. Our society says that we cannot grieve, we cannot mourn. And the second you choose to do that and you say, you know what? I do love me. I do love the old self. And it's time for something new to come in. So you could just be like, oh, thank you so much, self. Thank you for showing up in the ways that you knew how to do. I'm releasing you from any constraints of how you will show up in the future. And so as we go through the day, we may encounter areas that we're like, oh, that's not me anymore. I don't want to do that. And it's okay to just do a complete rewind. Maybe you're even at, my friend Nora says, hello, Bubbers. Yes, Tolkien came in. He said, oh, that was a very interesting drum. Maybe, like with the previous example, we wanted to show up to the grocery store and serve and show up with dignity to the clerk or whoever we're getting help from. And we show up and we notice that we aren't doing that quite well. And we go, wait a minute, I didn't do that well. And you're already leaving. Why don't you stop what you're doing, turn around, and literally address that person? Just be like, oh, Bob, Mary Sue, I'm sorry, I don't think I was quite present enough for you. I valued this interaction, whatever it would be. Thank you so much for checking me out, for getting me through the line in that space. Thank you so much, clerk, for helping me find that item, whatever it is. And just being like, thank you so much. And I just wanted to make sure you're having a good day. And then turn around and go away and just walk away at that point. Do what you need to do to mourn the past and make space for the new you. So the new challenge, or the new, for postings today, go ahead and use that, the hashtags if you want to on Twitter, of 90-day happiness challenge, or you can also tag it with Matthew Embrey-McClain, Shamanic Happiness Coach, to kind of push there, and mark down like what you're mourning today. What are you letting go of? What showed up for you in this odd way? Maybe you're mourning the fact that you're no longer present for your emotional, you're not going to hold space, let's say it that way, for overly emotional dysregulation, like that you're just spouting. Maybe you're somebody who get so dysregulated emotionally that you can't even focus on the moment. What does it feel like to mourn for that? Just be like, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's not me. That's not myself. So switching it back, saying, wow, I'm going to go ahead and hold space. I'm going to mourn that and say, thank you for showing up and teaching me what you needed to teach me. And now I celebrate the fact that you're leaving, just like I would celebrate the fact that I'm gaining a new part of me. So that is day 2. Okay, stay tuned for the rest of these 90 days. It will be very difficult. We are getting emotionally deep. This is not your normal happiness challenge. This is not, I'm going to go and do 5 acts of kindness, which may be in here, who knows? But it's not going to just be super easy super easy 5 acts of kindness that you can go out and do just lickety split. Everything in this challenge is extremely meaningful. Everything is meaningful. I am asking you to step beyond what normally society would be like, yeah, we can get away with this. No, we're doing real change. This is real change, real elevation. So along with that, if anybody does need outreach, please connect to your friends, your family, shoot me a message. I am willing to totally message with you, do a clarity call if you need to have a little like, oh, I'm so dysregulated, I don't know how to handle this. I'm going to change, but I don't know what it looks like. Let's get together. That's totally possible. In addition, on Wednesday, I have, pull it up on my Good Elephant app here. I have a meditation that's online for everybody if they are wanting to do that. Oh, it looks like we already have one person that signed up for it. Woohoo! Good Elephant. I wonder if I can show you what my app looks like on here. This app right here. Oops, let's go that way. That app right there, Good Elephant. You can find that on any store, sign in, and then you can go ahead and find just by the day of what's coming up. And so November 4th at 6 p.m., I'm going to be hosting an online class called Compassionate Mindful Meditation, an online expansion of our love. And that is just to help support you in any way that I can. We're going to do a little one-on-one, like a chat and discussion in that space. It's going to be about an hour. No more. We don't need to do any more than that. Just a nice check-in. How do you do? How is everybody? How are we showing up? How are we expanding in love? And what kind of support do you need today? It's a beautiful space. So you can sign into that. We already have one person. That's going to be so amazing. These classes get pretty full as I'm looking at my schedule right here. So it's going to be fun. Anyway, who do we have that's marking themselves known? Faith is there. Yes, Faith utilizes Good Elephant all the time. It's a beautiful space. So lastly, what can we talk about? Lastly, I'm here for your support. I covered that. Make sure you're setting yourself up for support. So find your friends, your family, whoever it is. Say, I am doing this happiness challenge, and this is what it means. Yesterday, I decided to do a self-examination, and now I'm like, these are all the things I'm changing about myself, and we're going to expand on that again. So don't think this is a one-and-done thing. We're going to do that again. Then second, day 2 is like, wow, I have to learn how to mourn for my past and mourn for who I was in the past and all these things. And that place, we're going to spend the emotional time so that when we go into the space of new, we're not being held back with baggage. We're going forward. Yes, and and comment and let your community know how you're changing. That is the biggest thing, because we're changing together. If everybody that participates in this, and I've seen over 1,000 people check in and out on Facebook and Instagram and various forms. If we all were to do a slight modification on our news feeds, even, all of those platforms would start showing up a little bit differently for us, wouldn't they? We can take advantage of these algorithms out there that show us and create these tiny social bubbles. And so that's another thing that we can do, is set up our social bubble for growth and expansion. We don't need to be held back by things that don't have any merit. And maybe that's a time that we can say, wow, I'm going to mourn some of that old life, right? And that's a good way to do it. So thank you so much for watching one more time. Perfect timing, just under 15 minutes. I'm going to try to keep all of these to under 15 minutes. Some will be much shorter, some will be maybe a little bit longer, but we'll notify you on those ones, of course. So tomorrow, stay tuned for more, and I'm going to give a little bit of a drop on the first prize giveaway and see how that goes, okay? So with light and love, everybody, thank you so much for showing up to be yourself, to be your expanded new you, to know that you are worth it, to know that it is time to start changing for the better, for merit, for you. So with light and love, namaste, everybody. Bye-bye. Yay.